This is Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria. My name is Joshua. I shall welcome you today. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, under the stewardship of Professor Hamidu Shaributu, embark on capital implementation project in Plateau State, Shandam local government area. And the vaccination is on anthrax, BPCP, foot and mouth diseases, right here in Plateau South Shandam local government area. Of course, as you can see behind me, these are cows who have been vaccinated, but better still, some more have been vaccinated so that they can be able not to transfer those diseases to other animals, or better still to humans, so we can be able to be very, very healthy. Of course, sometime earlier before now, there was news of breakout of anthrax disease in Nigeria, and it's more reason why the Agricultural Research Council had to come to make sure they vaccinate these cows so that they can be immune to such diseases. So stay back and of course enjoy as you get to see how these things are done.
Basically, this project was given to us by the Agri Research Council of Nigeria to vaccinate the cattle against some common livestock diseases that is affecting the animals. And we deemed necessary to vaccinate them against either of the three of the vaccines. Either is CBBP, that is contagious bovine flaral pneumonia, that a common Hausa name for the disease is called Chuon Huhu. And some are being vaccinated against anthrax 4 vaccine, that's a Chuon Saifa, and the other ones are being vaccinated against foot and mouth disease, that is called Boru. Now, every animal that is here is being vaccinated against the CBBP, and whether way around, one is going home again with anthrax 4 vaccine or the foot and mouth disease vaccine. And this project has commenced since 1st of January 2024, in which we have gone around the villages batch by batch to vaccinate the animals, and we have succeeded in vaccinating more than 30,000 cattle so far in our 5 days trip. We started the project in Kwampan local government, in which we move district by district, and we have succeeded in vaccinating over 26,000 in Kwampan. We moved to Ishandam local government, and we have been following them district by district also. And this is our second day in Shandam. We are in Bian, and we have succeeded in doing the vaccination, which is still ongoing. From this particular location, we are going to another location again, in which we are going to continue with our vaccination programs.
One of these diseases is anthrax, and of course we know that Nigeria, there was outbreak of anthrax some time back and all that. So now what you're saying is, after the vaccination, what now happens to the cow?
We guarantee the population of food safety by giving them anthrax 4 vaccine. That means we are covering the animals against anthrax 4 disease, in which they will not come down with the disease, and we are assuring the public that they have no panic against the disease called anthrax again.
Okay, so now what is the major challenges you've been facing since you've vaccinated over 30,000 cows and all that? What is the major challenge you're facing with the locals around regarding the vaccination?
The major challenge that we are having is issue of road accessibility. But in terms of other vaccination, the major challenge that we expect to have, the ARCN has covered all those challenges. So for us on our own part, we don't have any challenge. But the only challenge that we are having is issue of road accessibility to where these herdsmen are staying, because they don't stay in the city. The veterinary practice is not for the city, but it's for the villages. And for us to reach them there, we have to, at times we need to trek long distance before we reach them.
Okay, how is the acceptability by the herdsmen? How is the acceptability of the vaccination? How are they accepting it? Are they accepting it, or there are some who really kick against it because they feel maybe you are coming with something else to them? How is that?
Yes, before we come to every district, we first have to contact the leadership of the Fulanis in that particular area on daily basis. Before even coming to kickstart the program, we have contact of the Mieti Allah chairman of Plateau State chapter. We talk to him. We have contact of the local government Mieti Allah chairman. We discuss with them, and they link us to every Uruga head that we are going to meet. The hardlords, every hardlord that we are coming to their own location, we have to speak with the hardlord, and he's going to give us assurance that his people are willing to participate in the program. It's only one location that we have a very serious setback, in which the outlaw has been communicating with his people, but they look at it as, wow, this is a setback we are not willing to do. But as we started for this part today, they call that they are willing to participate on the program because of the feedback that they have receiving from various locations that the vaccine has taken place. They are willing to participate now.
Okay, so now after this vaccination, is there any need for them to be vaccinated some other time, or it's just done once? I mean the anthrax.
Yeah, all the vaccines being given are expected to be repeated yearly. The immunity is covering for just a year. So we sensitize them that there is need for them to vaccinate their animals yearly against every diseases that we are having. And we told them the source of the vaccine, where we got the vaccine, and these vaccines are accessible by the MVRI. They can buy it and call the attention of the veterinarian to administer this vaccine to them. And that aside, it's not only the vaccination program that we render to them, we also render some clinical services to the animals. Like now, we find an animal that is needing clinical attention, we do attend to them. Basically, some of my men that are working here, one person is doing the work of deworming the animals against endoparasite, that is the worms. So it's not only vaccine that we are only giving them.
Okay. All right. So now, lastly, now, what is your advice to herdsmen generally who are into this sort of thread, and then what is your advice? I'm sure you must have seen some of the mistakes they are doing as herdsmen generally. What is your advice to them who are watching right now as to how they can be able to have a healthier and of course more productive rearing?
Yeah, the productivity of every livestock sector, it depends on the input being given. Both parties have a role to play. The veterinary aspect, we have a role to play, and them to also have a role to play. One of our lapses is there is lack of sensitization on the part of the hencemen, and secondly, the hencemen don't want to spend money to buy what is meant for the livestock. So what I'm advising them is, one, they should stick on the issue of heart health. Giving the healthy heart is more important, is going to give them more productive input as they expect it to see.
Well, actually, I must say I'm impressed by what I've seen. Even with the briefing that we received from the lead of the team, that is Ozome Kasua, on what they have done so far, I believe the impact of ASN is already being felt by this community. And this is a commendable effort, and I just want to use this opportunity to also congratulate the Executive Secretary, Professor Amidu Shaributu, for these giant strides, and I believe these noble gestures will continue. As you know, vaccination is an annual event, and I believe with this president that has been laid, I believe we are going to continue in this trajectory, so that we can be able to establish a very good herd immunity in this southern zone of Plateau State.
Okay. Now you've seen some of the cows they're actually not looking too healthy. What can you say? Is it that this sort of vaccination should be done again and again, not basically anthrax and foot and all that? Is there any need for other diseases that are associated with cow to be vaccinated as well?
Well, the truth of it this is to encourage the herdsmen that actually the government as it were, which ASN represents, actually cares for them. You know, one thing with herdsmen is sometimes they are a bit skeptical in actually seeking for veterinary service. But for the fact that this veterinary service that actually come to them, it shows that actually there's a value they are going to get from it, and this is to stimulate their thinking that actually if we follow this kind of service, we are going to get a better output in terms of our livestock productivity. So I believe going forward they would embrace the veterinary service with a very positive mind, because most of the animals you are seeing here actually just like this was supposed to be just a vaccination campaign. We could see that they are going beyond the vaccination and even deworming the animals, which shows that the animals are actually not being better taken care of. And that is to tell them that actually if they incorporate deworming and other routine therapeutic or preventive measures, they will get a better output at the end in their livestock
Okay.
joint venture.
And the present government has actually changed the Minister of Agriculture to food security. How do you think this vaccination can actually add to food security?
Well, of course, when you have a good livestock industry, by implication, when you have a productive animal, there's a boost it brings to the food chain. Understand? When you have animals that are not really productive, is a minus to the food chain. So going forward, this kind of campaign actually would go a long way in actually boosting the livestock contribution to the national GDP, that is the GDP of Nigeria. By implication, the livestock contribution to agriculture and food security of Nigeria.
It has been very, very interesting, and coming to meet the Fulani where they are actually located, it's a very, very wonderful experience, and the way they received us is very, very commendable.
And of course, we are here for the food and
Foot and mouth disease, anthrax, and CBPP.
yes.
Yeah.
In your own opinion, do you think you've seen any danger imposed on the animals so far?
Here, like the animals are actually healthy, just save very few ones that just have to be dewormed, and that's exactly what we're doing. That's even an innovation into the vaccination. It was supposed to just be vaccination project, but then we discovered that not just vaccination, some of them has to be dewormed, and they are actually doing that, deworming them coupled with the vaccination that they are taking, and we'll get a very good result in a very short time.
Okay, how can you explain that this very vaccination is done free courtesy of the Agricultural Research Council that is worship?
100% free. It is 100% free. We brought this vaccination to them to encourage them and to improve their heart's health and production, so that they will increase food production and improve the quality of animal production in the southern part of Jos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, now, what would be your last words to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, to the farmers as well as regarding this very experience you had?
Now, like this experience now has now really opened our eyes to that we need to help the herders to improve the health of their animals. So in that line, the federal government, the Minister of Agric, should try to continue this gesture to the herders, so that it will help them and it will increase their production. And the farmers also, that's the Fulani herdsmen too, should be open to government for all these gestures, because some of them, when we come to them that we want to do this, they always think that government is doing it just because of the tax you want to collect from them. They don't know that it is even for their own good, it's for their own benefit, and it will increase even their income, because when the animals are healthy, they can sell them in a very, very good money, and it increase their income from the animals they keep.
Sunana Ardo Ibrahim.
My name is
Eh,
Ardo Ibrahim.
To gashi nan yanzu an zo ana yin rigakafi da sauransu, ya kuke ji?
gaskiya
Honestly, we are very happy with
gaskiya
this
mun yi farin ciki
initiative
da
we've
wannan
seen the
aikin da
government
muka gani a
have
gaban
done
mu.
for us.
Mun yi farin ciki da shi
We don't know
sosai.
what to
Ba abin da
say,
za mu yi
only
sai
to
dai mu
say
ce
God
ubangiji
bless the
Allah ya saka
government.
da alheri. Shugabanninmu da suka ɗauki
Whosoever
wannan
is the
al'amari
leader
ubangiji Allah ya
that
ƙara
sent
ɗaukaka su.
this
Mun yi
sort of
murna da shi
initiative
sosai.
to us, we
Mun
only
gode, mun
say may
gode.
God uplift them more.
Kai gaskiya har ga Allah
Thank
ba wanda
you
taɓa
and
mana
thank
abin da
you and
muke
thank
nema.
you. Honestly,
Mu
no
dai
one
mun zo
has
mun nema
ever
da
came
kanmu
to
mun
our
samu
aid
lokaci ma
regarding
mu zo mu
this,
yi ba amfani.
except we'll go and
Amma
look
haka
for
nan muka
them
ga
by
wannan da gwamnati
themselves,
ta
and
turo
then
mana
when
mun
we
yi farin
come,
ciki da shi
there's no
sosai.
use.
Mun yi murna.
But this one
Eh,
government has helped us, we are
wallahi.
very happy.
Abin da
One
yake
of the major
karya mana
problems
aikin
that
kiwo
usually
musamman
comes to
nan
us
abin da ke
in
fi damun mu
Hardin
shine
is the issue
bangaren
of
huhun nan
diseases.
da kuma saifan nan su ne wanda muke fama
Diseases
da shi
ravage us
sosai.
a lot
Mu
in
yi
this
magani
very
magunguna mu sai mu sayar.
place. We search for
Wurare
drugs
daban-daban
here
muke saya
and
mu zo mu yi
there,
amfani da
and
shi
of
amma baya
course, to
amfani.
no
Dabbobi ba
avail.
su daina mutuwa.
The animals keep dying.
To shin ka gane yanzu da yake mun
But
ga wannan
honestly,
kuma
since with
an
this
nuna
and
mana
they've given
lalle
us
taimako ta
assurance
bangaren
that
sa
it's
ne.
going to work,
To mun yi
we
farin
are
ciki
very
da shi
glad
sosai. Ubangiji
and we
Allah
are
kuma ya mana
saying, may God
jagora.
help us.
Eh, bangaren
Honestly,
nan da muke
our
nan
only
yankin mu nan
problem is they
damuwan mu
should
dai
help us with
a
drugs.
tallafe mu da
That
magungunan ne
is
kawai.
what we
Damuwan
want.
mu shine muke
Honestly,
bukata.
at all
Ko da
times, we
yaushe
just want them to help us
magungunan
with
ne
the
damuwan mu.
drugs. We really don't
In
have
ba
any
mu da wannan
problem
matsala
when
ta
it
fannin
comes to
kiwon nan ba.
hardin.
In ba ta samu irin su huhu
That's
shebur
our
ba.
problem.
Damuwan
If
mu
they can
kenan.
help us with
Har in
these
an
drugs,
tallafe mu da wannan
honestly, I don't think
ma
we'll
ga
have any problem.
alhamdulillah ba wata damuwa kuma. Eh,
The
wallahi.
only thing we can say to
Abin da zai
Professor
ce
Hamid
mashi shine
Sharabutu
ubangiji Allah ya saka
is
musu da
may God
alheri.
bless him and
Allah kuma ya
uplift him
kara
more.
ɗaukaka
We are
su.
so happy and we are
Da mu
grateful.
godiyan mu kenan. Wallahi. Madalli, madalli, madalli Allah rufa mana asiri.
So kowane wata uku
Every 3 months, it's important you give your animal this very thing for deworming them. A small reason sometimes when we see some of the cows, we say they should deworm them. It's good for you to deworm your cows at all times. Sometimes you see a cow doesn't feed on sand, but you see it feeding on sand. That is because there is a disease wrong within its system. So it's very important you deworm them after every 3 months. Now, for example, after giving the animal this, so you start seeing worm coming out, and then you do another one after 3 months. We assure you that these drugs are working, and I will give you an assurance that it is working. Sometimes the problem we face is that cows keep on eating clothes. Like the clothes I'm wearing in after it dies, you can see it in its tummy. This is one of the things that bring our problem here now. Now in this region, down here, if you come, you tend to see cow, they start eating clothes. We found different ways to see if we can find a way for it, but to no avail. That is what they call vitamins. It is something they see in food, But when the grasses are dried, there are no nutrients in them. So, what it is important at every given time, you get some drugs that have the vitamins. If it's going to replace those nutrients that are lacking in the grass they've eaten, it will stop them from eating your clothes and other things that are not edible for animals. That is the reason. As we are leaving, we'll make sure we leave you with phone numbers so you can be able to reach us at any given time. My name is Bala Ibrahim. I'm the chairman of this abattoir. Honestly, since our existence in this Kwarki village as people who work in the abattoir, we have never been this happy and we don't know what to say. But at this point in time, we just want to appreciate this very God-sent man, Professor Hamid Shaributu, who gave us this very plot of land for us to own it and of course manage it. The only thing we are going to say is that may God uplift him and continue to strengthen the Agriculture Research Council. This abattoir is going to reduce unemployment, and the numbers of people who are going to enjoy these developments are enormous. We don't know what to say, only to be appreciative of what they've done. A lot of people have been coming to fetch this water you see. They have been drinking, and honestly, everyone is blessing this man. Both children and adults in this town are very happy with this new initiative. We've never gotten anyone. We've been staying behind the city, but now he has brought us in front of the city. So it means the business is going to be flourishing more as people will patronize us more compared to our old abattoir. This is the old abattoir, and as you can see, there are two different things altogether. It's not as big as the new one done for us by Professor Shaributu, and there was no access to water. And it's more reason because of the lack of water. That is why you can see blood and everything. And then you have to go far away to get water, but there is no accessible road. But this new one that is being done by Professor, we are so very grateful for him because there is sufficient water and everything is moving just fine. You know, Professor is someone who wants the progress of people. It got his notice that the town lacks an abattoir, and then he now came by himself. He supervised the place and asked us to come and see him, after which he embarked on this project. After he checked, he said, I'm going to fix the abattoir. But in fact, he's not going to fix it. He's going to do a modern abattoir for us because this very one is obsolete. He gave us a plot of land and dug a borehole for us and built everything to the modern taste. Honestly, we're grateful. People come and then they fetch the water. The place has been very, very amazing. Honestly, we don't know what to say. We can only pray for Prof and all he's been doing. We appreciate it.
My name remains Joshua Isha. Many thanks for staying with us. Bye for now.